What's up, YouTube? I'm standing outside, so that can mean only one thing. That my face will be hidden by all these shadows and branches and stuff. No, we got another review for you this morning. It's a beautiful Sunday morning. And after having a little bit of a tornado scare yesterday and the power going out, it is glorious. I don't see a single cloud in the sky. And it's already like almost 60 degrees out. So this is why I moved to the south. Anyway, so in keeping with my not obligation, but my duties and my pleasure to keep reviewing the tobaccos that Sutliff Private Stock has been sending me, I have another blend that I've been smoking quite a bit lately, and is my first Mac Baren tobacco that I've ever tried, and that is Mac Baren Navy Flake. Now, obviously, this is a hefty tin, and I've gotten a good way into it, and for good reason. I really do enjoy flake tobaccos. So if you like flake tobaccos, this is going to be one that I would suggest you try. Now, I will say something about the blend itself. The blend, it says, carefully selected Burley, Virginia, and the original Mac Baren Cavendish have been pressed and stored for weeks before cutting into slices. The pressing secures a slow and cool burning, which gives the ultimate smoking pleasure. Now, that's wherein I want to point out that those of you who do not like Burley tobacco are probably not going to like this blend. If you have a thing with Burley and it doesn't mesh with your tongue very well, this is definitely not gonna be for you. Now, I have not had much in the way of Burley. I think the most Burley I've ever had was University Flake, and that's, I think that's more Virginia than Burley as far as the mixture goes. Now, this one, when I first cracked open the tin, not terribly moist, but I wouldn't say wet. I didn't have to leave it out for very long. Now, this is a blend that I like to take on the road with me, because I can pull the flake out, throw it on top of my paperwork, finish up a call, and then load my pipe, and it's pretty much dried to just where I like it. Now, I like things drier than most people, so I would say, as far as moisture content goes, this is a very well-balanced flake. It's not too wet, and it doesn't take long to dry out. Preparation. I kind of go back and forth on the way that I prepare flakes. Some of them I prefer to rub out. Some of them I like to do the whole fold and stuff thing, and what I normally do is I take let's take a flake here, and I'll show you what I mean. I kind of do a combination of like a Z-pack and I don't know what you would call what I do. I just kind of take my flake, I'll fold it into thirds, then I'll fold it over, right? And then occasionally I'll do a twist until it's all broken up like that, and then I'll jam it in the pipe. That seems to work really well for this tobacco. I tried just straight up stuffing it in the pipe, and it smoked terribly. So I would suggest with this one, a little, mess it up a little bit. You don't have to rub it out all the way, but mess it up a little bit. It'll make a big difference. As for tin aroma, when you crack this thing open, I got a lot of sweetness, kind of fruits. You get a little bit of like, I don't know how to put it, cranberries almost. Now, mind you, I'm no tobacco sommelier, so let's not delve too far into that. Let's just say you get a very sweet aroma when you first crack open the tin. As far as flavor goes, you can definitely taste Virginia, but that Burley is pretty much front and center. You have a little bit of a nutty flavor, very smooth, but I will say that if you do smoke this blend too hard, it will bite you, and it will bite you hard. Now, I find that Burley tobaccos, when I smoke them too hard, they all bite me. Anything with Burley in it attacks my tongue like you wouldn't believe. So I would say be gentle with this blend, smoke it slowly, or let it dry a little bit. As I've said before, Virginias, when they're a young Virginia, they like to be dry. When they're older, when you've aged this Virginia 5, 10, 15 years, it can be a little more moist, and it won't give you too many issues. It's usually a little more forgiving, and it won't bite your tongue, but young Virginias like to be dry. Burley, in my opinion, likes to be dry. Cavendish doesn't matter. You could smoke it underwater, and I think it would be fine. But as far as Burley and Virginia go, you want to make this a little bit drier. I would say room note definitely interesting. You get that standard tobacco smell, like, something when somebody walks in the room, they say, yeah, this smells like somebody smoking a pipe. But there's also this occasional hint of that sweet kind of cranberry-like smell, even while you're smoking it, which surprised me. I would say room note, if someone can tolerate the smell of tobacco, this would be fine. If they can't, then probably not. As far as room notes go, I think aromatics are always the best bet if you have to smoke in a place with a bunch of people. But I'm not a fan of them, so this is about as close as you're going to get to having a decent room note. Let's say on a scale of 1 to 10, what would I rate this? I would say this is about a 7. I say that because those burleys, I had a big learning curve with the burley and learning how to manage not smoking it too hard. And then also, I would say that this flake, it has a tendency to just fall apart, even when it's moist. Normally, like a lot of the flakes, like University Flake, I don't usually have that issue with. Full Virginia Flake, I've never had that problem with. Best Brown, but these flakes are kind of thin, and once you pick them up, they just start falling apart, and that ends up to me having to rub the flake out, and I don't get the full flavor of it when it's rubbed out. I don't get the same flavors that I get when I just kind of give it a pack and just a light little scrunching rather than fully rubbing it out. So I would say if these things were cut a little bit thicker, they would be absolutely perfect, and they would go up to probably like an 8.5 in my book. So if you're looking for something with some burley in it and an interesting flavor, and you like flake tobaccos, I say go for the Mac Baren Navy Flake. Catch you guys next time with the next review.